Is there a specific book series you grew up reading that captivated the attention of everyone around you? I know there were a few for me back in the day. Back in grade school, kids used to fight in the classroom to read the newest edition of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series or the next Percy Jackson novel. However, there was no book series that captivated the attention of grade school kids like the works of author Dav Pilkey. I mean, the man knew exactly how to craft stories kids liked because he did it on purpose. The Captain Underpants series was all the rage back when I was young, and it was such an influential mark on pop culture. I'm also young enough to remember when the first Dogman novel was released. Back in grade school, we used to have these events called the Scholastic Book Fairs, where vendors would come and set up like a mini bookstore full of so many beloved new and old novels that kids loved. And I distinctly remember standing in line, a crisp $20 bill in my hand, waiting to buy the first Dogman novel the moment that book fair opened on the first day. And I was the coolest kid in the classroom after that. In fact, I went digging and actually found the original copy I bought from the book fair way back in the day, which is insane. I must have read this book maybe 30 to 40 times back when it first released, and I fell in love with everything about it. Dav Pilkey was an author who knew exactly the type of humor that young kids loved, and he stuffed his stories full with juvenile humor that appealed to my specific age range. It's one of those books that I look back on fondly from my childhood, remembering the simpler times where something like this brought me so much joy and laughter. Hearing then that Dreamworks Animation was setting out to create a Dogman film after the success of their previous Captain Underpants movie, I was instantly filled with a sense of nostalgia. Now, it's been a track record for as long as I've been into film that January is usually filled with pretty bad releases. It's where studios dump the movies they have zero hope in, and audiences usually can tell. In this slow period, then, it makes sense that Dreamworks would seek to capitalize on the lack of children's fare out there right now by releasing this film, which still seems like a pretty popular intellectual property. I researched before beginning my notes for this review, and apparently they're still releasing Dogman novels currently, which is a wild thought. So, how did I go into this movie? I wasn't exactly excited, as something like this doesn't still appeal to my film taste, but I was hopeful that at least it would be able to capture the same tone and atmosphere of the original novel in a different format and medium. And if there's anything that Dogman does extremely well, it's just that. Every moment of this seems plucked straight from the original novel, which is still ingrained in my memory even though it's been probably 10 plus years since I last read it. There's so many references and jokes pulled here straight from Pilkey's book, which lends a nostalgic air for anyone who read the novel way back in the day. Dogman follows the story of Officer Knight and Greg the dog, who are police officers in a major metropolitan area who are constantly chasing after Petey the cat. After an accident leaves both of them seriously injured, doctors concoct a genius idea to transplant the head of Greg the dog onto the body of Officer Knight, thus birthing the titular hero, Dogman, a quote-unquote super cop who fights crime. Dreamworks is a studio that has been accused of being inconsistent in terms of output over the years. They've delivered masterpieces of animation that stun audiences in terms of artistry and emotional depth, and then release a smaller film like Dogman in between these films that doesn't quite live up to the same expectation. However, to call Dreamworks inconsistent isn't entirely accurate, as no matter how good the end product is, it's hard to deny how much passion and artistry goes specifically into the animation style. The best thing about this studio is how each story has a specifically crafted style to the animation. In The Bad Guys, we see a hyper-realized action-based blend of 2D and 3D that highlights the kinetic and fast-paced sequences throughout. In Puss in Boots 2 and The Wild Robot, we see a watercolor style that blends these unique character designs into a widely realized and vibrant natural world. And in Dogman, the style is akin to fake stop motion, as the use of a lower frame rate and somewhat simplistic and textured character designs pulled straight from Pilkey's original novel lends such a lighthearted and unique approach to this film. In an age in which so many of the Dreamworks competitors have become increasingly reliant on a stock CalArt style for all of their output, the fact that Dreamworks consistently challenges this notion by formatting the style to the story's specific purpose is commendable. The animation style here just feels like a graphic novel come to life, which helps the adaptation of the source material feel so authentic to the original. There is so much here that just works, whether it's the atmosphere or tone being plucked straight from Pilkey's original novel, or a fun voice cast with Pete Davidson stealing every single scene as Petey the cat. However, perhaps the greatest strength about this film is the surprisingly poignant and emotional message and theme about parenthood. It's kind of insane that the Dreamworks' last two films both deal with the same parental messaging, but it's truly effective in both properties. Here, it's a heartfelt exploration into parenthood through the lens of a character who doesn't think he'll be a very good parent. He's grizzled at the world, and his viewpoint is very much closed off and unfeeling. However, the film explores how children sometimes bring out the best in their parents, and about how this character's hardened viewpoint of the world changes once he sees it through the eyes of his child. This subject is handled with so much grace and emotion, and there's so many effective moments that adults, and specifically parents everywhere, will love and relate to. For this reason, Dogman succeeds as a zany and crazy tale that kids everywhere will love, but but also takes on a deeper emotional core that parents will understand and empathize with. This makes it a rousing film for all ages, with varying levels of appreciation that everyone can relate to, no matter their age. While it is quite fun and great animated fare, it doesn't quite manage to live up to the same level as other DreamWorks films of late. The plot itself isn't anything revolutionary or different as expected, and audiences will most likely guess the direction it's going in long before it happens. The editing and pacing are also extremely quick and jarring, as the hour and 29-minute runtime doesn't really allow the story to properly breathe. And again, some jokes and moments here aren't as nuanced or complex in terms of execution, as it is a Dav Pilkey property after all. However, this film succeeds in being a thoroughly engaging trip to the movies that will leave kids content and adults with a lot to chew on. And I expect audiences everywhere will fall in love with Dogman when they watch the film. That's why I'm giving Dogman a 3 out of 5 stars. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this review on my channel. If you're new around here and you like the content you see, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below, like the video, and turn on push notifications. Also, leave comment suggestions down below for future video, essay, and review topics. With that being said, until next time, this is Mitchell signing off. Peace out.